This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And welcome, as we are halfway home to the weekend. However, we both know today a very solemn day, 9/11, as we all reflect back on the year 2001. But we are back at it. The show must go on, as they say. Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. Our program being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Again, Paisan cuisine at its finest 7 days a week. Family recipes, not what corporate tells you how to do. It's the way Joe and his family have been preparing food for many, many years. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, where they're offering some great CD rates with annual percentage yields. Also, too, they are co-sponsors of the Walk to End Alzheimer's Walk coming up. That will be on September 28th in Lions Park. So, again, be a great supporter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank by joining on that special walk. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Remember, it's never clean until it's Lennox clean. And again, they're all part of Lennox Enterprises, serving our community needs for a quarter century. Medicap Pharmacy over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Again, where Gene and the staff invite you to come on by, shop inside, do your business outside at the convenient drive-thru. They're open Monday through Saturday. Once again, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards. And again, for a limited time, you can enjoy their frosted caramel coffee. And on the menu right now, it's their mac and cheese, which goes with anything. Yeah, try your chicken sandwich with the mac and cheese. Matter of fact, if you feel obligated, get some waffle fries as well, too. 6 days a week, serving up 3 delicious squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Rain City's Place, Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range with 2 convenient drive-thrus. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations, Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing on the east side. And again, with all of the banking amenities that you expect and love from Platte Valley Bank, do it the old-fashioned way, do it the high-technology way. You can do everything in between as well over at Platte Valley Bank ×2. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way, on the lot are some of the 19s that are left. And again, too, AJ invites you to come on by, kick a few tires. Check out the entire Kia family on display. The 20s are coming in as well. Some of the 19s, yeah, you will find some very special pricing. So you've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Now is the time to buy, especially when it's from Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. And we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne, where they're celebrating 50 years here in our part of the world. Yeah, the international headquarters in Cheyenne, as they have locations all around the Cap City, including the food truck over on the South Greeley Highway, which is in the Outlaw Saloon parking lot while they rebuild the South Greeley address. So again, if you are looking for breakfast, you'll find it at Taco John's. Lunch, and of course, you need some dinner on the way home, like a 6-pack and a pound, then you need to stop at Taco John's of Cheyenne. We get things underway. It's our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Again, unfortunately, no LCCC action to recap or at least allude to. We'll have some more, at least, updates on tomorrow's show. But for today, do want to remind folks coming up this Friday here on 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com. And also, too, video live streaming as we do. Again, completely free on Periscope, which you can find via, at least on Twitter, at Nick Wild Sports. And also, too, on the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel, where we will have South High, South Fighting Bison, here in town for the first time in 2019 as they play host to Casper Kelly Walster Trojans. Both teams looking for their first win here in 2019. So curious to see who will get that first win coming up. 6 o'clock kickoff is when that will be getting underway. 5:30 pregame show tentative here on 1480 KRAE. So tune in. Looking forward to it.
Major League Baseball game that'll get underway before we get out of here. Yankees and the Tigers once again at Comerica. 5 o'clock games will have the Braves and the Phils at Citizens Bank Ballpark. The Dodgers, which clinched their 7th straight NL West flag last night. Matter of fact, the first team to do so, clinching their division. They will be in Baltimore once again to take on the Orioles. Red Sox, Blue Jays at the Rogers Center. Diamondbacks and the Mets at Citi Field. Brewers, Marlins at Marlins Park. Brewers will be out without Christian Yelich for the remainder of the season. Busted kneecap. It will be the Nats and the Twins at Target Field. 6 o'clock game will have the Rays and the Rangers at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Indians, Angels at Angel Stadium, Anaheim. Royals, White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. The A's and the Astros. Well, the A's returned the favor last night, 21-7 over the Astros. They'll be at Minute Maid once again. Rockies, Cardinals at Coors. It will be Antonio Senzatella getting the call for Bud Black's Rockies, who are 61-84. He'll be opposed by Dakota Hudson for the Redbirds. Pirates, Giants once again in San Francisco at Oracle. The 8 o'clock game will have the Cubs and the Padres at Petco. The late night contest, Reds and M's again at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
At Mountain Dew, we say here's to the doers.
The people who know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen. answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm this afternoon with highs around 76 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 45. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 68. And on Thursday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 43.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today for Wednesday. Larry Proati along with Nick Proati. And we're going to bring on our first guest. And again, I know he will be on with a former station I used to work at a little later on, and he's been with on with them for a long time. But we have the opportunity, because it's a special day, to chat with him. One Robert Gagliardi, senior sports editor and beat writer for the University of Wyoming and the Mountain West Conference. And Robert, it is an extreme pleasure to have you join us on our program today.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It means a lot that you guys reached out, and I'm thrilled to be here with you guys today.
And we're going to get into the meat and potatoes here in a little bit, why we reached out to chat with you. But just so I can throw this out real quick, Robert, you know, I've known you for a long, long time. So, again, you have been a sports reporter, editor in this part of the world. Correct me if I'm wrong, about a quarter century now. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Actually, at Christmas time, it would be 26 years on the other half of that quarter century. Yeah, so it's been a long time. It doesn't seem like it's been that long. It's certainly gone by fast. But you know, Larry, you're one of the first people I met, at least in the sports in the sports media, when I got to Cheyenne, and always thought the world of you, and had a lot of respect for you, and have enjoyed getting to know you a little bit over the years and stuff. But yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that long. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
And I don't want to throw this out here, and I put you in this same high esteem as a couple other guys that I knew very well. One Larry Berleffi, the late Larry Berleffi, and a gentleman that over in Laramie that you basically took over at that spot with the Cowboys, one Bob Hammond. So again, you are a well-known sports scribe in this state, well respected, and again, the works that you have done, whether it's been on the local side, whether it was Sting soccer, high school sports, all the way to the Wyoming Cowboys. Again, you know, you have made your mark here in this state, as you say, almost going on 26 years.
Well, that's awful. Very, very kind of you to say, Larry. To be Stephen mentioned in the same breath as people like Larry Berleffi and Bob Hammond. I mean, that's just a huge honor. I don't know if that's deserving or not. I'm not sure about that, but
that means you're old.
Do this, right? Well, that's for sure. We can't lie about that, but or hide that. But to be able to do this and do this here in southeast Wyoming has meant a lot to me. You know, being born in the state of Wyoming, basically lived most of my life here. Not all of it, but most of it. To be able to do it here and to do something that I love to do, and to do it in a place that I love to live, other than some of the winter months, of course. But to be able to do it here and share, you know, to tell stories of the many athletes, high school, you know, college, you know, from various things, to be able to do it here, and it's meant an awful lot to me.
Now we're going to get into the reason why we have you on, and then we'll share some stories later on. We'll have you share some stories, because again, you've got a lot of stories to talk about in your years, and heck, all over the country that you've been.
I was gonna say, we also might pick his brain on. We do have at least Cowboy football game as well as upcoming. We got a few topics at least to talk about.
But your writing has been just marvelous on the sports scene. But you're going to take your writing to another level. So let's talk about where you are advancing to now in your career.
Well, I'm still going to be doing some similar things. Starting Monday, I'm going to be the associate editor of the Wyoming Wildlife Magazine for the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, and it's something that I'm very excited and grateful for that opportunity. And, sports has been a big part of my life since I was just a little kid. But what's also just been probably as big a part of my life has been the outdoor scene. I grew up, camping and fishing with my father, with my grandfather, with friends and stuff. That's, if sports is one, outdoors is 1A. That's just how important that has been to me. Some of the best memories of my life, and even life lessons that I've learned, have been through the outdoors. So I'm going to be, coming back to Cheyenne and working in Cheyenne, and I'll be, editing copy. I'll be doing some writing. I'll be planning. I'll be working with writers and stuff. So, not completely foreign to what I've been doing the last nearly 26 years, but just a little different avenue. But one I'm just as excited about from the first day I started writing sports. I'm just as excited, maybe even more excited for this new adventure.
We'll talk about this, at least Wyoming Wildlife Magazine for us, Robert, where at least give a plug out for yourself and that magazine for folks that are, again, looking to at least join you on your new venture with this, at least new venture into this new magazine. Give us a little background of, is it a monthly magazine? What feature stories are in this kind of magazine? Just give us the quick rundown on Wyoming Wildlife.
Yeah, it's a monthly magazine, comes out once a month, and it profiles all the natural resources in the state and the stewards that protect those resources and promote those resources and things like that. So there's it's a broad base of story topics from topics that are conservation, hunting and fishing, some landowners. I mean, there's just kind of a wide range of different types of stories that are in there, and this is a nationally known magazine. I mean, there's people that maybe have Wyoming ties, and certainly plenty of people around the state that get it, but there's people from all over the country, all over the world that subscribe to this, and obviously as a magazine, it's very photo-driven. Some of the photos that, the staffers have and that obviously readers submit, I mean, it's just absolutely breathtaking. It's just a really good way for, the Wyoming Game and Fish Department and everything to let people know of the beautiful resources we have in the state and what's being done by a lot of hardworking people to preserve those resources here in the state.
Is there going to be a spot in that magazine, maybe in the opening article, that we find out you and your pop's favorite fishing hole, or are we going to get the insight on why you guys are always bagging all the big ones?
Well, if they're going to have to really do some arm twisting, for me to divulge those type of secrets. Now that wasn't in the interview process and everything. That wasn't a requisite. So, there's going to have to be some dealing going on if I'm going to start giving up that kind of information.
We're talking with Robert Gagliardi, senior sports editor and beat writer for University of Wyoming and the Mountain West, and now, as we add another title to the window there, associate editor of Wyoming Wildlife Magazine, the monthly magazine. And again, Robert embarking on this new career here beginning on Monday. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, it's something as we talk about, at least reflecting, as you talked about, Robert, again, almost 26 years sports reporting, whether it is on the local side of things, as you still do for wildsports.net. Again, at least focusing on the high school aspects, whether it's here in Cheyenne, over there in Laramie, again, covering the Wyoming Cowboys. But reflecting back on that 26 years, what are some, we'll look at the positives, negatives, but again, more of those outstanding moments in your reporting career that kind of stand out to you throughout your time of sports reporting?
Wow, there's an awful lot of them, obviously. I was I've been thinking about that a lot over these last couple of weeks, and obviously in a lot of games, bowl victories, the Vegas Bowl in 2004 for Wyoming, the New Mexico Bowl against Fresno State in double overtime. Those certainly stand out. Honestly, the season opener against Missouri just a couple of weeks ago, the way that kind of transpired and stuff certainly ranks right up there. But honestly, Nick, the very first thing, the first kind of beats, quote unquote, that I had when I started at the Tribune Eagle there in Cheyenne was covering the small schools, the county schools in eastern Laramie County. And I would go out to Albin when Albin still had a high school, and Burns and Pine Bluffs, and in the middle of winter and go out and cover these teams and just to go into these gyms and just have them packed to the gills, watching their teams play. And granted, the teams were pretty good then, but even if they weren't, I mean, to see, small communities like that, and I grew up in small communities like those places, to be a part of that, I'd like to think I've come a long way since then, but to be a part of that still sticks in my memory of something that was really, really special, and walking in and getting to know the communities, not just getting to know the community of Cheyenne that I was living, but getting to know these smaller communities and the people in them, and the kids and the coaches and the things like that. Those really stand out to me. And as far as other games and stuff, obviously when Wyoming won the Mountain West tournament in 2015, that was special. What's just really special is obviously you think more about like the victories or the triumphs and everything, but just how the University of Wyoming, and even in Cheyenne and Laramie County, when their sports teams are good, whether it's East or Central or South or Pine Bluffs or anything, just how much it brings the community together. And in a place like Wyoming that's just not very big, it's big in space but not big in population, when Wyoming football is good, it brings them together. But look at like the women's basketball team in 2007 that won the WNIT. I mean, they packed 15,000 people in the AA to watch a WNIT championship game, and if it could have seated 20,000, they would have got it. To see things like that, to see how sports brings not just a community like Cheyenne or Pine Bluffs or whatever, but this entire state together is just very special. That's one of the many things that makes this state special, not just Southeast Wyoming. It makes what makes Wyoming special, and I'll always remember those things of seeing fans go to games, to road games, and how much they would talk about the wrestling team when they're going to the national champion, when they're wrestling for the national tournament, or with Bryce Meredith wrestling for a national championship. Not just what it meant in Cheyenne, but what it meant around the state. And those moments will always stand out to me because it just of how sports brings an entire state together like that.
Well, and also too, Robert, and again, in our time that we've been, at least for me, since 1986, and again, as you've been a part of this state for a good majority of your life, the growth of the University of Wyoming, especially on the athletic side, we have seen, War Memorial Stadium. It still has the attractiveness of how it was originally built, but all of the new additions that coincide with War Memorial Stadium and even the Dome of Doom.
Yeah, absolutely. The facility enhancements that have gone on over there have kind of kept Wyoming viable in this arms race, so to speak. That's college athletics. And Larry, I don't know if you would agree with this, but I thought there would never be a day, at least a while back, there would never be a day where a coach at the University of Wyoming would make $1 million a year. I thought there would be no way they would let that slide. But now it's not the norm for all the coaches, but like for the football coaches now, that's to survive. But yeah, the growth, the facilities, the high altitude performance center is absolutely amazing. The renovations of the AA, and just what they're doing with that. But the everything they've done over there, has really kind of catered to the student athlete, and it's just been amazing to see that type of growth where, without it, guys, I don't know where Wyoming athletics would be right now. And I'm not saying it's arrived and it's where it wants to be. I'm sure they're striving for even more, but you've got to start somewhere. And I think they're off to a very good start, and at least have very good foresight of what's important to make their entire athletics department be the best it can be, and it starts with your infrastructure and your facilities.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I totally agree with what you said too about a coach making $1 million, because if you remember back in the day, I think Governor Jim Geringer was at that time running the state, and there was a lot of hubbub about, I think it was one of the coaches was making more than the governor, and everybody was up in arms about that. Remember?
Oh yeah, I mean, when Joe Tiller, right before Joe Tiller left, I think his salary. Yeah, I remember, and they still are kind of creative with the way they structure salaries for coaches. It's not just all out of one lump sum. There's money that goes here and there and stuff. They still get their money. It's just done a little bit different. But Joe Tiller was making about $250,000 to $300,000 back then. That was what, 96. That's a while ago. I mean, that's what position coaches make now. That's what coordinators at Wyoming now make. You know what I mean? It's just not just what's happened at Wyoming, but just the whole the footprint of college athletics and the money that's involved. You know, always thought it was a business, but over the last 20 years, 25 years, it's not. You don't think it. It is big business. It's multi-billion-dollar business, and Wyoming's just trying to get its share the best it can.
I remember when I did my interview with Joe there at MGM Grand before the WAC championship, and what he was, saying what he made, and and basically Purdue made him an offer he couldn't refuse. When I heard 7 figures and plus what he was going to get with attendance. All the little bennies that he was getting with attendance, I was like, holy cow, yeah. So I can agree with that statement exactly.
Well, you got to love it, especially what we just learned recently as well, too, with at least Craig Bowl, again, getting $100,000 incentive for just beating Mizzou. So, again, tossing around crazy monies for just beating those Power 5 teams. But, again, outside of at least the university, just talking about salaries over there and just the improvements, but going back, at least reflecting back on your career, Robert, of, again, talking about what were kind of iconic moments for you, at least your time here in the state, but also, too, as you move into this new venture, what are some things that you'll miss a part of sports reporting, whether it is doing the human interest pieces on, the local athletes or the athletes there at the University of Wyoming, interacting with the coaches throughout the state there as well, too, at the University of Wyoming, or is it just, again, traveling with the Wyoming Cowboys, whether it's football, basketball, Wyoming Cowgirls basketball? What are you going to miss the most now moving into this new venture?
I think just you kind of hit on all of it there, Nick. I think I'm going to miss being around the kids and the coaches. It's just been, I'm kind of a weirdo when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I love practice. Even covering the high schools, I would like to, if time would allow me, I would like to go and just watch practice and not to report on, they're working on this special play or this formation group that they're going to use against Idaho this week or something, but just to be around it and see what's going on, and maybe it leads to something down the road, story-wise. But just to be around those guys and tell the stories of some of these kids and coaches of what they've accomplished and overcome and what's unique about them and stuff. And even going back to the high school guy, one of the neatest guys I've ever been around in my entire life is Tim Dennison at Cheyenne Central, the soccer coach. He is one of the most interesting. That beer commercial, the most interesting man in the world. Tim Dennison is by far and away the most interesting man that I've ever met. I mean, being around people like that is just what I'm going to miss the most. And not that I won't be around interesting people in this next adventure. I'll get to hopefully opportunities to meet more interesting and cool people and tell their stories. But just being around all of that, and I've been afforded to see some places and go to some venues that I probably never would have. If I'd had a quote-unquote normal job, and that's been cool, adventuresome, a little nerve-wracking at times, but it's just to be around the athletes, the coaches, and the people that make sports special and telling those stories. I think that's probably the thing I'm going to miss the most.
I saw something when we were in the post-game conference after the Missouri game when Coach Bowl came in. Of course, you again are the main reporter there with the University of Wyoming, and again with Alan Edwards too on the basketball side. And I'm just throwing those two out there. But I saw something that was truly amazing with Coach Bowl and the relationship that you have with him. And I'm going to use the word, Coach Bowl's very comfortable with you. Now, again, I've read your works for years. Hey, you are very fair in your writing. If it's not going good, you let people know that things aren't going good. If it's going well, hey, it's all, it's a bed of roses. But I noticed that comfortableness that Coach Bowl had with you when you were asking questions, because I know a couple other questions were asked by younger guys, and, Coach Bowl, reluctantly gave, the proper response. But I was very impressed with that.
Well, thank you. And, I'd like to think that whether it's, whether it's Coach Bowl or even Dave Christensen or Joe Glenn or Alan Edwards or Larry Shiat, that, what I always tried to do was, you earn someone's trust, and that's not by, kissing their butt and just writing about everything that's good and ignoring all the stuff that maybe isn't so good, but it's about being seen, whether that's at practice or not, It's about doing your job, being a journalist, being fair, being accurate, and I'd like to think that, my relationship with Craig Bowl is pretty good. I like to think I've earned his trust. I'd like to think that I've been able to maybe even break some news that maybe others didn't because of how I work the beat and maybe some of that trust. But that's part of being the beat reporter of the many hats that I've worn over the years. That's part of what a beat reporter does, is to try to earn that trust. You're not giving it. You don't give that stuff away, especially in this day and age with social media and everything out there. Coaches aren't going to give their trust out, but you can earn it if you're doing your job right and doing it fair. And I'd like to think over the years, with a lot of with all the coaches that I've covered, and even at the high school level, that I've earned that. And if I didn't, then that's on me. But I'd like to think I've worked hard to do that, and I'd like to think I've been successful more often than not in that endeavor.
Yeah, without a doubt, and again, it does show, at least whether it is on social media or, again, just word of mouth of, again, how well respected you are, whether it is on the high school side of at least the high school ranks, again, University of Wyoming across the Mountain West Conference, again, you are just kind of that staple figurehead, again, that respectable piece that represents the state of Wyoming on kind of the athletic side, and now we'll do it at least on the wildlife side, again, moving to Wyoming Wildlife, that monthly magazine, again, where you'll start up at least September 16th out there, in that new venture. But we would be remiss as we got you on here. Again, you were at least a part of the practices. You're still at least covering the University of Wyoming. We do have at least Fan Appreciation Day coming up this Saturday, 3 o'clock there live at the War. A chance for the Wyoming Cowboys to go 3-0 against my Idaho Vandals, but we all know it's going to be a bloodbath in favor of the Wyoming Cowboys. But just, Robert, for at least one last time, at least for us, give us your little scouting report on this Saturday's matchup between the Vandals and the Cowboys.
Well, I think, guys, if this is a game that, look, Wyoming's not at a place right now, even though they're 2-0 and the win, people are still talking about the Missouri win. But this isn't a football team that can just show up on the field and just expect to win. I mean, they have to have a good week of practice, and I think a lot was probably mentioned. I know I talked to a lot of people, about let down after Missouri and you can't get complacent, and I don't know if there was necessarily complacency, but talking to a lot of coaches and even players earlier this week, where it was kind of an up and down week of practice for this group last week, and I think that showed in the game at Texas State at times. And then, that's a danger. That you're kind of playing with fire when if you're any team like that, but especially it's still a somewhat young one like Wyoming, where look, they have to have a good week of practice, and if they practice well this week, that should take they should take care of Idaho. But Idaho is going to pose some challenges to this group. They're going to have a pretty athletic quarterback that can move out of the pocket and make plays. They throw a lot of offense at you, and not necessarily like tempo, but they throw a lot of formations and personnel groupings and stuff. In fact, defensive coordinator Jake Dicker told me this week that other than Boise State, he's not seen a team that, since he's been at Wyoming, that throws that much offense at you as far as all that kind of stuff goes. So that's, I don't think getting off to a slow start again defensively would do Wyoming well. And then defensively, they got blown out quite a bit not quite a bit. They got just hammered by Penn State, but that's probably expected. And then they, was a fairly close game with the Division II school, but they're very big up front. They're going to have multiple guys, I think 3 to 4 guys that are going to go 300 large inside. That's pretty big. They didn't see that last week, and they saw some big guys against Missouri, but they didn't see that many either. So this Idaho team poses some challenges for Wyoming. But I think if they practice well and I obviously get off to a better start, and granted, look, if the defense can continue to score a touchdown and force 3 turnovers, you got to like Wyoming's chances. But this isn't, if Wyoming blows them out, so be it. But this isn't something where you can just chalk it up as an easy victory. This team still has to practice well and play well if it's going to win on Saturday.
And I hope it, and me personally, I'm pulling for that blowout, because that's something that's much needed as opposed to what happened with the Wofford Terriers.
I got to swallow my pride again. As a former, at least, student there at Idaho, again, I know it's going to be a whipping.
You were on double secret probation for the 2 years you were there. Jeez, get out of here with that Idaho Vandal stuff. Real quick, Robert, I had the Cowboys. This is me personally. This is how wrong I might be. I had them under the Mendoza line because of just the question marks defensively. the development of Sean Chambers. Obviously, the Cowboys to this point have proven me oh so wrong, and I'm not all embarrassed to have egg on my face right now. I would expect them to be 3-0 after the Idaho game. Crystal ball me, going to be a bowl eligible team? Do they compete with the Utah States and the Boise States in the Mountain Conference? What's your take?
Well, before the season started, I had them at 6-6, and look, I didn't expect them to beat Missouri. And look, even diehard fans, I'm sure, were pulling for Wyoming to win, but the realistic ones couldn't have seen that coming. I just can't see that. But I think this team can get bowl eligible, but I'm not going to go back on my 6-6 pick just yet. Now, can they do better? Yes, certainly they can. But this team is still dangerously thin along the offensive and defensive lines as far as depth goes, and they're still dangerously small along the defensive front, especially interior-wise. And it's been okay so far early in the season, but as the season goes on, and if injuries mount, that could kind of derail things. I'm not saying 7 or 8 wins is out of the question, but I'm not ready to change my pick of 6-6. I think 6-6 can happen, but there's still a lot of things, and obviously, they need to be more efficient on offense, particularly in the passing game. They're not going to be able to run it that well all the time, especially, Larry, as you mentioned, when they face the Utah States, the Boise States of the Mountain West. They've got to get that stuff straightened out first to be a more balanced offense. But I think 6-6 does get them bowl eligible. I'm sticking with that, but I think there's chances for more if this team can continue to improve and develop as the season goes on.
Well, Robert, on behalf of my son, Nick, we want to wish you all the best in the new venture as associate editor of the Wyoming Wildlife Magazine. We want to thank you for everything that you have done with the University of Wyoming, and again on the local side. And like I said, you and me, we go back a long time. So I can be one to say that I have seen your works over the years and admired all that you've done, all the awards that you have received too, especially when you were with the Wyoming Tribune-Eagle. I'm sure they are very proud of the fact that you had the opportunity to do some writing for them as well. And again, we wish you continued success in your new venture.
Well, guys, thank you very much. Those words mean the world to me. Always, continue the good work. What you guys do there in Cheyenne, sports-wise and everything else-wise, is amazing. Admire it. Continue the good work, and thank you very much for having me on. I really, really appreciate it.
Robert Gagliardi, senior sports editor and beat writer for the University of Wyoming in the Mountain West. Join us here on 1480 KRAE, and again, a new venture coming up, a new step in his career, and again, all the best to Robert. And again, from us, thank you for all that you've done. We're going to take a time out. We'll come back. We have Vic Fangio. He's going to step up to the podium and give us his press conference, his take on what happened at Oakland as they prepare for their next contest. We're back after these words.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
At Taco John's, we're blowing up your phone with great deals. Crunching. The only problem is how many there are.
Crunching, 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 crunching.
Sorry, not sorry. Craver Savers from Taco John's.
Crunching.
The best way to get more beef for your buck. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
So keep your eyes and ears open for the best Craver Savers from your local Taco John's. First Tier Bank is proud to team up again with the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. You're invited to join and participate in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer event on Saturday, September 28th. Registration begins at 10:30 in the morning at Lions Park at the South Picnic Shelter. For more information, contact Janet Lewis at 307-287-6569 or go online to alz.org/walk to learn more. We'll see you Saturday, September 28th at Lions Park for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, brought to you by the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
We're working hard for your business. I'm AJ Miller at Kia of Cheyenne, and right now you could save on the 2019 Kia Forte. The 2019 Kia Forte is priceless, yet still offers standard features not found on most of its competitors. With Kia Forte, you can charge your phone with available wireless charging, voice command navigation, and 8-inch touchscreen to help sync up your world. Come into Kia of Cheyenne or call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Not really. We got in so late, the players didn't have to be in here until noon, so that's still in process. Yeah, and one of the biggest issue was they had so many third and 3 minuses, ones and twos and threes, and which was more a reflection of our first and second down defense than the third down defense. But you're right, we got to be able to make some plays and get some stops no matter what the yardage is, and we didn't get them.
As you look at that your rush defense last night, what allowed Oakland to sort of chip away at it and get 34 yards?
They just kind of, they have a good running back. We knew that. That was no surprise. That's, part of it. They did a good job blocking us, and just kind of winning the grudge part of the downs, to where they were getting the extra 1 or 2 or 3 yards at the end of the play at times.
Vaughn and Chubb not getting even a quarterback hit on Derek Carr, was that because of what he was doing and what their offensive line was doing, or was it on the Broncos?
Well, they were throwing it quick. That was pretty obvious. And, and they did some chipping, which, every team in this league does against every defense. And they were getting it out quick, I think, was the main reason.
When you look at what Yadam, his performance, I'm not playing him specifically, but do you have to look at adjustment there? Or it was more of a team issue, lack of communication on sometimes, where it looked like he was being targeted by Carr? Maybe that was just the way the defense fell.
No, we got to give him some help. We gave him a good bit of help, but not all the time. And he's going to have to answer the call there when he's got a one-on-one situation. You're never going to be rolled up to a guy every play. We rolled up some. Obviously, we didn't roll up enough in that particular game, so that part of it's on me. But he's going to have to win some one-on-one battles.
Nick, I understand it's hindsight, but if you could do it over again, would you have played your starters more in the preseason games 3 and 4?
3 and 4? No, not in 4. Maybe we could have left them in there for another series in the second and third game. Maybe.
Do you have to handle losses differently as a head coach compared to the coordinators in terms of messaging to the team?
No, just messaging to the entire team now instead of half the team.
How did you think the offensive line did when Juwan had it come out?
I think they hung in there pretty good. We actually started running the ball better in the second half. Made some big plays in the passing game. But our issues offensively were, we got in field goal range 3 times and got knocked back either by a sack or a penalty and couldn't attempt the field goal. We tried the 64-yarder at the half, and another 5 yards, even another couple yards, that thing might have been good. So I think, those were lost points there, 3 drives, where we are in field goal range with the wind at our back. And then obviously the red zone we didn't come through there.
Vic, how comfortable were you managing the game?
I was fine.
Todd Davis, close.
Who?
Todd Davis, he was sprinting pretty good before the game.
I don't know. We'll see.
From the film, what went wrong on the long kickoff return in the fourth quarter?
We had a guy, sit down too far away from the ball, and then another guy that, could have made the play but didn't make it.
Coach, how much would you dwell on the loss versus let's just turn the page, short week, and let's get on to the Bears?
Both. The most important thing you do every week is critique yourself and improve from your errors, learn from your good stuff, and then move on to the next opponent.
Coach, on the kickoff, was it a design kick to be a little bit short, or did Brandon just not hit it properly?
No, we were trying to hit it as deep as he could.
How much will you consider moving Donatel to the box just to give you more eyes, or in your words, more spaghetti and meatballs?
I don't think so.
Is there any sort of timetable on Callahan on when you think he might be
No, there's a chance this week, but there was a chance last week too, so.
Rich ran that funky formation in the red zone. What made that the right time to do that down there?
I just felt like it was, and, it didn't work out, It's just the way it goes sometimes.
With about 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth, you decided to kick a field goal instead of going for it. What was the thing?
It was fourth and, I believe, 9. I just thought it was too far, with 8 or 9, close to 9 minutes left. There's still a lot of football. Anything could happen. I didn't want to leave there without points. And I think in retrospect, it turned out to be the right decision because we still had a chance there if we could have got a stop at the end, We'll never know if we would have converted the 4th and 9, but that was the choice I made at the time, and I feel fine about that choice.
What made you feel comfortable sticking with Corey Nelson for most of the game?
He had a good week of preparation and practice since he got here, and experienced player, and we thought he'd do well in there.
Is there something you can do to improve red zone offense over this short week?
Yeah, we got to do a better job of coaching it. We got to do a better job of executing it. We had a chance there. We didn't make the catch on the one time. We just got to play and coach better down there, and we'll work hard at it.
From your film study, Coach, what was the holdup in getting Emmanuel Sanders involved? Because he wasn't as involved early as he was late.
Well, he's the guy, too, that is fighting the fatigue part because he's not, through his injury and lack of practice time, he's still rounding in the football shape to play every play. And, I thought he had a good game. He had some catches there, and, I think he'll improve weekly.
You said last night you weren't discouraged. After watching the tape, is there anything that gives you more reason to perhaps be encouraged this week?
Yeah, if we can just, get our points when they're there to be gotten, and not get sacked or penalized out of field goal range, make a play in the passing game. I think we only had 2 passes defensed last night, not counting batted balls by the rush, but we got one from Bradley, I know. We got to make some plays in pass defense, and we got to shore up the run defense a little bit better.
If you had to do it over again, would you maybe use the timeouts in the first half as you were writing it down?
No, I was comfortable with the way that was going and the way it turned out. If we had had some completions and or not that penalty, those timeouts would have been used. They would have had a purpose there. But once we got down there and where we would have started using them, the clock just kept stopping after the play.
It looked like they had much more emotion than they played with and intensity early. It might have been the way the game was playing out. What's your philosophy as coaching? Because you're not necessarily a rah-rah type of guy. What's your thought on the emotion, getting the guys fired up for the game?
I thought our guys were ready and fired up and ready to roll. They put together a very nice drive on us, where they completed a bunch of balls there and had some runs. There was nothing big. And, what we could have made that play better, their touchdown, and our red zone defense, we really had 2 guys assigned to the guy that caught the ball, and we didn't execute it right. And, to come out of there with 3 instead of 7, would have been nice. But when they got the touchdown, your observation is validated.
For a few more for the coach. Considering it was Rich's first game as an offensive coordinator in the league, how did you feel about the play calling overall?
I thought it was good. I thought our operation was good for the most part. Obviously, anytime you call plays, same for me calling defense, there's always a few you'd like to have back or call something different, but that's just the way it goes. You're never going to call every play the perfect play. And so I thought it was fine.
Does Rich have the autonomy to just call whatever he wants, whenever he wants, specifically the jet sweep to Van on the first play and the swinging gate play, I guess, if you call it that? Do you know that's coming, or is that's Rich?
No, he's got the wherewithal to call those plays. I mean, obviously, if I want something, we'll do it, or I can veto something. But overall, we're going to go with what he calls.
Is there an advantage to facing the Bears this year, given what you just walked away from left them? Does it get you have some institutional knowledge that might help on a short week?
No, I don't think so. If anything, they may have an advantage because they've worked with me for 4 years, and there's still 2 defensive coaches there that was there with me the entire 4 years. So I don't think so.
How Kareem Jackson looked to you?
He had some good plays in there. He was the guy that broke up the 2 passes that we had broken up. There was plays he could have played better. He was forced to play nickel, and he hadn't had the amount of time on task there that I would have liked for the nickel to have going into that game. But when it became obvious that Bryce wouldn't play, we thought that was our best combination. And, there were plays that I'm sure he would do better if he had had more time on task. But overall, he did fine.
Final 2, Mike and then Ryan.
Some of your starters had high snap counts. Are you concerned about the depth?
No, I mean, starters should play a lot. I mean, it's what they get paid to do, right?
Last one, Ryan.
Overall, what did you make of Flacco decision-making?
I thought he had some really nice throws, particularly down the field. And then some throws that were off a little bit, or maybe a decision that was off a little bit. But I thought overall, the passing game, we made some big plays, but we didn't bear the fruit of those big plays like we needed to.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
For almost 30 years, I've had the pleasure to talk about Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Proetti with an invitation to bring your vehicle into Cars for service and minor repairs that are done with precision and care. Now, I've known John and his staff for a long time, and when it comes to tune-ups, replacing shocks, fixing fuel pumps, replacing timing chains, working on heating and air conditioning units, or even just a good old-fashioned oil change, I only trust my car when it comes to service to be under the care of Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. They are a TechNet professional, where their work is covered by a nationwide limited repair warranty that extends across North America for 24 months or 24,000 miles, whichever comes first. For more information, check out technetprofessional.com on the World Wide Web. Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service always goes one step above the rest when it comes to the care of your vehicle. 604 West Lincoln Way in Cheyenne, open Monday through Friday. Call and set up an appointment at 632-0498.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Some common things that can affect your personal or at-work computer. The worst of all is a virus. Secondly, it runs too slow because the hard drive is filled or something else internally is wrong, and it's in serious need of an upgrade. Before you get rid of it, let Lanny at Affordable Computer Repair attack and fix those problems right away. Affordable Computer Repair is just that. So call 307-256-8971 and let Lanny's many years of computer service get your computer back up and running the way it should be so you don't miss a day of work or the personal use changes that you expect from it. He's worked on them all, so you'll feel confident he'll get the job done right. So don't junk it. Help is on the way from Affordable Computer Repair. Call 307-256-8971.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm this afternoon with highs around 76 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 45. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 68, and on Thursday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 43.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. First hour has been packed once again. Robert Gagliardi, senior sports editor and beat writer for UW and the Mountain West Conference, on, I guess we would say, his last day or two on the job.
Today's the last day.
And then he'll begin a new venture, associate editor of Wyoming Wildlife Magazine, beginning on Monday. Most recently, Vic Fangio, head coach of the Denver Broncos, his press conference.
His lovely press conference. Again, the guy is pretty much just above Bill Belichick, but again, as we've done with Vance Joseph and every kind of pro coach down there in the, at least city of Denver, again, we do at least give them their airtime here. But again, Vic Fangio does not have a whole lot to say. And granted, what does he have to say about that
I mean,
team?
he's about as exciting as watching paint dry. But here's coming up for you. In hour number 2, we'll take a look at the Mountain West Conference, what's happening this weekend. We also want to mention that Antonio Brown is back in the sporting news once again. And this time, this could be a heap of trouble. Don't know. We'll look at it.
Can't assume anything.
We'll look at it, objectively. Also, too, Christian Yelich, his season is done. Dodgers are in. Nolan Arenado, for those that are still watching baseball, like me, he hit a home run last night that was unbelievable in the Rockies win. We'll just briefly chat about that coming up here. But
whoop-de-doo.
I didn't get
how many people were watching? It was pretty. I
don't. They had fans there last night for the Cardinals and the Rocks, so
probably more Cardinal fans than anything.
Good, but the point is, they're still playing baseball. Anyway, we've got tickets. We've got tickets to give away. And we're going to do that right now, as we have been giving tickets away as promoted by Nick on our social media site. And again, this is for the upcoming weekend game with the Idaho Vandals and the Wyoming Cowboys. 3 o'clock kickoff?
There you go.
At the War, coming up on Saturday. Again, these are my personal tickets, thanks to the Cowboy Joe Club. And again, we are looking forward to seeing you in attendance. And hopefully you will not let these tickets burn. I think our first 2 winners that you have drawn earlier in the week, all excited about getting their tickets and going over to catch the Pokes on Saturday. Hopefully our next winner is going to be just as excited as well.
I'd like to hope so. Again, as thank you to all who did enter on the Facebook side of things. Again, where you can still enter, as we'll give away one more pair of tickets coming up tomorrow on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. But again, thank you to all who have liked, commented, and shared, who at least garnered 3 entries just like that on the Facebook side of things, where you can find us at facebook.com/WyoSportsTalk, or just simply search for Wyoming Sports Talk Today. That's how you'll find it. Give us a like, give us a follow, and again, like, comment, and share on that post to have 3 entries at a shot of pair of tickets to see this at least contest coming up this Saturday. So again, going to the Fishbowl of Awesomeness right now to see who our winner will be today of a pair of tickets, also to a pair of goodies to go see our friends over at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Delrange and Windmill. Again, it is a goodie of the mac and cheese and also to that caramel coffee, so you have an opportunity to check that out before you head over to Laramie this Saturday. And also too, with today, as we had a lone parking pass at the Summit View lot right next to the stadium, I'll pair that up with the prize pack as well, too. So today's winner will also, too, get the lone parking pass for this upcoming game. So as at least reach in right now. And how about Christian Lasher? Christian Lasher will be our winner for today. Congratulations, Christian. You have won that prize pack again. Pair of tickets to go see the Cowboys and Vandals this Saturday, the parking pass, and also the goodies over at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Delrange.
I'm assuming the he, Christian Lasher?
I would assume.
All right, so congratulations.
Either way, though, Christian, I at least will find you at least on Facebook, message you as well, too, how you come by and pick up your prize pack and go see the Cowboys and Vandals coming up this Saturday.
And the parking pass as well, so congratulations.
Don't have to worry about parking, yeah.
Yeah, you're in that Summit View lot. You get to party on, Garth, with all of the fans there in that part of the world.
Yeah.
All right, we do need to move into hour number 2. We will be back after this on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hour number 2, Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being presented to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Again, all of the Taco John's locations, except for the South Greeley Highway. That means you'll have to, as they're remodeling it, you'll have to check out the food truck, and it serves up delicious Taco John's eats right there inside the parking lot at the Outlaw Saloon. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Yes, it is time to move out the 19s and make way for the 20s. But as we're moving out the 19s, and AJ does this quite often, you know, he's got that marking pen. He says, you know what? No, we're gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. So if you have been waiting and waiting and waiting, now is really, really the time to buy. So check out the entire fleet of Kias over on the lot at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, done everything in between. Whether you need a loan, then I'm talking auto, remodel, home loan. How about a HELOC? You know what? See my good friend Rick and that great staff over at Platte Valley Bank on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, as Nick mentioned as he gave away the tickets. Again, their newest promotion, their mac and cheese is on the menu right now, hoping to be a permanent fixture. So, again, you can show your support by eating a plethora of mac and cheese with your Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches. Also, too, for a limited time, you must try their frosted caramel coffee. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, across from Powers Field and Menards. And, again, they're open Monday through Saturday, serving up 3 delicious squares. We have for you also Medicap Pharmacy, one of our great sponsors. So we want to thank our good friends Gene Barber and the entire staff over at Medicap Pharmacy, serving our needs Monday through Saturday. Same location as always, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue and the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard, founded by Dick Lennox, tradition carried on by his daughter Heather. 25 years now. They have been taking care of our vehicles' woes, and we do appreciate that Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center still around today. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, Tim and the wonderful staff over there invites you and encourages you to get a hold of our friend Janet Lewis at the Alzheimer's Organization. Sign up to be a part of the Walk to End Alzheimer's. That'll be coming up on the 28th Saturday at Lions Park. And again, First Tier Bank also reminds you about their wonderful CD rates going on right now. So check out the APRs that they're offering today over at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. And across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Boy, what a great way to wrap it up. Paisan cuisine at its best from Joe Mondello. Whether you do a sandwich, and you could do a meatball parmesan, or you could do, like me, the salami and provolone, you know it's going to be fresh ingredients on fresh baked bread daily over at Mondello's Pizzeria. The strombolis, freshly made. Their calzones, fresh dough, fresh ingredients inside. How about the pizzas? Fresh made dough, along with all of the goodies that they put on there. Many pizza selections over at Mondello's Pizzeria. And again, since the mid-'80s, Joe has been doing this here in Cheyenne, bringing us the best of Paisan cuisine, family recipes, not corporate, family recipes for you at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week. Scoreboard time. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to Nick.
Nothing on the LCCC side of things to recap or at least allude to until tomorrow, but at least reminding folks coming up this Friday here on 1480 KRAE, we will have more high school football action. It is week 2. Game 3, however, again, as we had a 0 week with Class 4A, but again, week 2, game 3 here for us, as we will see the Fighting Bison of Cheyenne South for the first time this season, as they will be at home for the first time this season after road trips up to Natrona County and Thunder Basin. So the Fighting Bison at home at Fighting Bison Stadium. They'll play host to Casper Kelly Walsh. Both teams, for at least they are looking for their first win on the 2019 campaign. That game will kick off at 6 o'clock coming up to at least Friday night. 5:30 tentative pregame show here on 1480 AM 101.1 FM 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming completely free for you to enjoy that way on Periscope, via Twitter, and also on the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel.
Major League Baseball getting underway. Before we get out of here will be the Yankees and the Motor City Kitties of Detroit at Comerica. Braves Phils at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Dodgers and the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Red Sox will be in Toronto to face the Blue Jays. Diamondbacks Mets at Citi Field. Brewers Marlins at Marlins Park. It will be the Nats and the Twins interleague play at Target Field. Rays Rangers at Globe Life. 6 o'clock hour will have the Indians and the Angels at Angel Stadium. Anaheim 6:10. Royals White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field. The Swingin' A's and the Astros. They've had an interesting series for the first couple of games. The A's and the Astros hook up at Minute Maid, Game 3 of this 4-game set. Cardinals and the Rocks at 6:40 at Coors Field. 85 degrees currently, partly cloudy in Lodo. Antonio Sensatella will get the call for the Rocks. He'll be opposed by Dakota Hudson for the Redbirds. Pirates Giants tonight. Oracle 7:45. Cubs and the Padres at Petco in the 8 o'clock hour. And the late night game at 8:10. Reds and the M's. They will hook up at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi.
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-thru window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-thru window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
You know, kind of a low-key hour more for us here this hour. I mean, there's stuff to talk about, and the soap opera continues, which we'll get to in a minute. Our good friend Billy Adelman with the LCCC flight crew sent us a reminder. We were talking about it yesterday, but more in depth, and we do appreciate Billy letting us know all that is involved in this. And he made a very good point, too, because, again, polio will go back into when I was younger, when we did the sugar cube thing back in the day for polio. Again, these diseases just don't go away. They linger.
Technically, again, one has been eradicated, that being one smallpox. And again, from what I learned growing up, again, where you had the polio vaccine, I thought polio was eradicated at this point in time. But some of the factoids do kind of allude to that it's getting close, but we're just a few percent, at least just a 0.1 percentage of just getting it all completed out. But basically, this is the push to kind of basically say, hey, polio, bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. But either way, again, as we alluded to with head coach KRAE Coates of LCCC Volleyball, again, as they are off this week, they'll get back into action coming up next Tuesday, September 17th. They're live at the RAC as they will host Otero Junior College. At least 6 o'clock game. They're live on the campus of LCCC. Again, it is Spike Out Polio event brought to you by at least the flight crew and also, too, again, Rotary Club of Cheyenne. Again, volleyball is partnering with the local Rotary clubs, including South, East, and Central and Triumph Interact clubs to raise funds for the worldwide eradication of polio. The eradication of worldwide polio has been the at least primary focus of Rotary for more than 3 decades. Just to give you a few facts regarding what at least Rotary has been trying to do and also regarding polio. Rotary has invested over $1 billion to eradicate polio. Polio has been reduced by 99.9%. So again, we're just looking for that 0.1 to say bye-bye polio as a result of these efforts. It is estimated that the Rotary's effort has saved over 17 million lives. When polio is eradicated, it will be the only second disease eradicated in world history. Again, as I mentioned, the other one is smallpox. In 1985, prior to Rotary's campaign, nearly 350,000 children a year were being infected by polio. In 2018, there were only 33 reported cases of new polio. So again, getting closer to that worldwide eradication. But again, that's what this Tuesday, they're live at LCCC, something that volleyball did last year. Again, continuing that tradition here this season. Again, the Spike Out Polio event, again, accompanying with that LCCC volleyball games, at least this upcoming Tuesday, September 17th, they're live at the LCCC RAC as the Lady Golden Eagles take on Otero Junior College.
And again, Billy, thanks so much for thinking about us to keep us updated on what's going on at LCCC. And again, which we talked with KRAE yesterday, but getting more in depth on this. All right, the soap opera continues, and you made a very good point a couple days ago, and then of course we talked with our boy Q yesterday in Texas, Central Texas, and this almost has the makings of a reality TV show.
Yeah, but this is now it's more serious.
I understand. It is more serious, but again, it goes from one stupidity type of deal with Antonio Brown, and then again trying to be a bad arse, now to, oops, got your hand caught in the cookie jar. And somebody's calling you on it.
And again, this is a scenario that we've seen a few other athletes get in trouble with, or at least have kind of this allegation put upon him. So again, he is still innocent until proven guilty. So again, not assuming or suggesting anything with Antonio Brown. But again, it has come out that he has been alleged for, again, alleged rape, sexual misconduct, sexual assault, at least against do believe a former trainer, as I'm looking for that information. But
right, it is. The trainer's name, I had it here in front of Brittany Taylor.
Yeah.
Now, here's what Brown has said. Brown says he will fight this all the way so he can protect other athletes. So evidently what he's saying to Brittany Taylor, this is all bull.
And again, in the NFL, how many times have we seen it that it has been? Again, we saw it with our own 49ers, again, with one, at least, again, player on that team who was alleged. Team stuck by with them, at least for the 49ers, credit to that, because they said, hey, we'll await the legal process, and it turned out that she was fabricating it. She was just trying to milk money, and again, it was this whole convoluted, backstory of what it was. But again, he was innocent. He was proven to be innocent, and we've seen that a few other times. Now, again, in this situation, will it be the same case? Again, we're not going to assume, not going to say anything. Again, we'll let justice do its thing and figure out what is going to happen with Antonio Brown, and again, with his former, at least, trainer, see what is going to lie in front of him. But it is something that is just another knock against Antonio Brown, where whoever's got respect for this guy, it's got to be gone at this point.
Well, here's everything that we know, everything that was written. Antonio Brown took part in his first practice with the Patriots this afternoon, a day after his former trainer filed a civil lawsuit in the Southern District of Florida accusing him of sexually assaulting her on 3 occasions. Brown, who has worn number 84 throughout his NFL career, was wearing number 1, his temporary number at practice. Coach Bill Belichick declined to comment.
Of course.
And again, these reporters are morons for even getting him involved.
Well, they try to do the same thing with Tom Brady, try to get him to comment. Neither of them are going to do it because, again, what business do they have on what off-field of what is happening in Antonio Brown's life?
They're probably more in the dark about this than anybody. So, anyway, and matter of fact, Belichick told the reporters, we're working on Miami.
There you go.
So, in the lawsuit, a copy of which was reviewed by ESPN, Brown's former trainer, one Brittany Taylor, accuses the newly signed Patriots receiver of sexually assaulting her on 3 separate occasions in 2017 while in the Pittsburgh area and 2018 twice in the Miami area. Taylor is willing and planning to meet with the NFL next week. She's getting married and can't meet before then, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN.
Yeah, that's the issue, again, where she'll get married and then meet with front office and, again, at least the big wigs of the NFL to kind of give her side of the story and just kind of divulge information to them, and I would assume also to the legal staff there with the NFL. But, again, it is recent, or at least somewhat recent than where we've heard other allegations that were years ago, if not a decade ago. It is something that has been very recent. And, again, without assuming one side or the other, this is still a bad knock against what has already been a dark and stormy cloud for one Antonio Brown. Like I said, if you got any respect for this guy at this point in time, it's got to be bye-bye at this point in time, where now we got this creeping up about this, at least this guy. Come on now.
Well,
the guy's a complete joke. He has now become the bad face. He's a bad face.
He's what's wrong with the NFL.
Yeah, bad representative of the NFL.
Brown has denied the allegations, like you said.
And he should.
He's not guilty.
Again, you do. Again,
Still proven.
Yeah.
Darren Heitner, a lawyer representing Brown, said his client plans to countersue, as I mentioned. Drew Rosenhaus, Brown's agent, told ESPN today that he and his client were anticipating this possibility, that a lawsuit would be filed, but he declined to say whether the Patriots knew of the looming lawsuit before signing Brown. Rosenhaus said he had been in contact with the NFL Players Association, which has spoken to the NFL. So obviously,
again, if you read the writing on the wall,
read between the lines too.
Yeah, again, same. What we got the understanding of, or at least of what is going on here. Could it be that former trainer of Antonio Brown realizing what he's doing, again, getting his monies, getting this new contract and everything, and now signing up with the New England Patriots? Is it another case of that she's just trying to kind of get some extortion money out of him?
Right.
Is that another situation of what we're seeing here in the NFL? Again, we have to go off of, again, the short-term memory of what has already happened here in the NFL in recent seasons, that it's happened before.
Well, we had to even go back to Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all of this that goes on.
Well, Peyton Manning had that. And same with a steroid allegation. He's had a few against him. But
I know. And again, all basically
they were false. They were false. But that's why I'm just saying it feels like, again, where Antonio and his legal staff knew that this was coming. They're, again, countersuing that they have confidence. Again, even with that, with his representative getting on ESPN doing the interview, he basically said, hey, I got confidence in Antonio Brown. I know what the situation is. I wouldn't be up here if he actually did it. And he basically outlined that, hey, I got a couple daughters. Again,
Right.
if he did it, I would not be standing up for him.
Well, and this is interesting, too, because the lawsuit caught the Patriots by surprise, and sources are telling Adam Schefter that the team will have to decide how to proceed with Brown. One possibility is that Roger Goodell will place Brown on the commissioner's exempt list, according to sources, which would mean Brown will not be counted on the Patriots' active list, that is, while the league investigates the allegations. Now, how long that takes, nobody knows.
Again, that could be months. We're going back to recent, at least, memory of a few other players that had to go through it. It was about a 2-3 month process, so that's something that could take some time, and that's something that the NFL, Roger Goodell, again, New England Patriots, they got to decide on, because now you may be missing a piece. That's just if the Patriots keep this piece as well, too. We've seen other teams where these allegations do crop up, and they go, yeah, no, you're not a part of this team, bye-bye. Now, the Patriots, again, they got their guy. They're willing to put up the money. Again, Robert Kraft, he's a guy that, is going to exhaust all avenues to make sure that, all right, this is the smart decision for my team, and we'll see what happens going forward. But we're talking about that Antonio Brown, he's going to be in this state of limbo for quite some time.
Well, and we're talking about rape. I mean, everywhere he goes, the word rape is going to come up. And again, you can't hide. You're going to have to answer to the questions. Now, again, he says he countersued.
Well, if he did it, then he should be confident to go up in front and say, I did it, here's why, blah, blah, blah.
And that's where he said he's countersuing, because he said, I'm going to win. I'm going to protect other players that have to go through this. And again, we've mentioned a couple examples where it was on the opposite side, that, like you said, trying to extort money. We don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah, not assuming. Again, both parties are innocent until proven guilty, but you read between the lines, you read the writing on the walls, it sounds like it's another example of what has already happened in the NFL. And if it is, the weird thing to say, at least at this point in time, if it does happen that it's another case of that, and Antonio Brown, as he's saying, hey, I'm doing this countersuing to protect other athletes, good on him to step up and do that if it is the case. Because it is something that is starting to plague the NFL, without a doubt.
And the deal with Antonio Brown, you brought this upon yourself. I'm not saying whether you did it or not, but you had to be the feature headline on the sports pages.
His ego. What do you expect?
And
that has been the key word.
Now, whether this trainer is right or wrong, don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is, here's a situation where, hey, you know what? And I'm going to take both sides. Hey, he's in the top of the headlines right now. I'm bringing him down.
Yeah, basically.
Or I'm going to try my best to extort money.
Or
either one.
Or again, where he's front and center right now of what he's doing with the Raiders and the Patriots. Even going back to 2018 of being the debacle with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it is that situation of, okay, he's front and center. Here's my chance to speak up and say, hey, he doesn't deserve the spotlight because of how bad of a guy he is.
Now, here's the thing, too. And then, again, I take this accusation very seriously, so don't get me wrong. But why? If the first incident happened in 2017, why wasn't it reported in 2017?
Well, that's something where you skirt along a line where, again, some might not be comfortable, coming out with it.
Not in this day and age, Nick, no. Women today. Women today are not afraid to speak up, and they did in the past. Now women are coming out and saying, "Hey, this happened to me."
Again, I would not encompass all of them. That's being very broad about it. I'm not saying that all. You should not say that all of them are.
I'm just saying women in general are not afraid anymore, and they're not going to be beaten down by coming out and accusing. But also, the incident happened in 2017. 2 incidents in 2018. If I do my math right, 3 incidents. We're in 2019. We're in the third quarter of 2019, and now this is being brought to light. Again, going back to what you said earlier in the week, and again, I'm not making light of this. It's not even a soap opera right now. This thing has gone beyond reality. It's
no longer a reality show.
It's a bad dream.
Yeah.
And this guy,
again,
he's his own enemy, his worst enemy.
This became a joke to now it's very serious, and this is something that could destroy his career if it does go in favor of Brittany Taylor.
He could go to jail.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, this is going to probably alter his life if it is true that what he did to at least her in those 3 at least cases that she has brought up. Without a doubt. Again, we'll see what happens. Obviously, you got to let justice take its time and figure out all the avenues and get all the evidence and blah, blah, blah. We'll see what happens, but it's going to take some time. Give it a few months, 3, 4. Who knows how long this is going to last, but we'll see what happens. One party is going to be innocent, the other one's going to be guilty, and we'll figure out which one it's going to be at this point in time. But it's hard. It is at that point in time, and every time this crops up, and it's not even in the NFL, it's other sports as well too, where we've seen these allegations be brought up. Go back to what we just saw, at least with with the Sacramento Kings with Luke Walton. He was accused of it.
Yeah,
he was proven innocent.
I mean, it
was proven to be false. It doesn't just happen in the NFL; it happens in the NBA. It happens in other sports. That's why in this day and age of how many times it's been cropped up, or again, it is at that point in time where these, at least allegations, have that feeling of it's those crying wolf. It's unfortunate to say that. But it is at that point in time where my mind, as soon as I read that, it does have that feeling because of what we're seeing right now. In recent cases, they've all been false.
Yeah.
They've been all false flags.
Don't know. I mean,
but again, I give both parties. I give both parties that fairness of they're both innocent.
Yeah, I mean, Antonio Brown. I mean, you have been your own worst enemy. Interesting movement from the Antonio Brown side to OBJ in Cleveland, and again, the big question this week is why? Why would you wear a $190,000 luxury watch?
He wanted the attention.
Onto the field. Well, and he's warned it. But this is interesting.
And then he complained about it, I do believe, on Twitter or Instagram, of saying, hey, who cares if I wore this, this watch or a $30 watch? All you're doing is because it's me. It's like, well, you got your attention.
And he's going to wear it against the Tennessee Titans. But NFL spokesman, this is interesting.
If I'm a defensive player, I put helmet right on that watch.
Well, but also, too, that watch could be used as a weapon. It can. It can.
How? Explain how. On your wrist. It's not like he's sliding it down, putting it on his hands. All right, that's where it's going to be a risk, but I doubt it's going to be anything detrimental.
I don't know.
If anything, it's a target for me if I'm a defender coming up where I'm aiming for that.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a bounty now on trying to break that watch.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But NFL spokesman Michael Signora said earlier in the week that while the league has no rules prohibiting jewelry, it does have a policy prohibiting hard objects. He also said the league would address the matter with Beckham and the Browns, who play at the New York Jets next Monday night.
All right. But again, it's OBJ who's
a moron.
On the same vein of egotistical.
Does he need the same attention as Antonio Brown?
I think so.
What is up with these knuckleheads?
Is it something that OBJ is sitting there, at least in Cleveland, after their awful loss that they had, where he's basically looking at Antonio Brown of, hey, I want that media attention. Give it to me. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear a six-figure watch on the field, and that's how I'm going to garner that attention. And he got it. Yeah. He got it.
Well, and again here, Beckham countered that the Richard Miller timepiece, which retails for around $109,000, is plastic and thus shouldn't be an issue, although Beckham indicated he hadn't spoken to the league about it yet.
It's dumb. Why? Well, we have a good understanding of why he did it, but it's just, come on now, be smarter than that, OBJ.
And Dumb has been part of the wide receiver core since.
I don't know where you're going.
Who played with the 49ers?
You're not talking T.O.
Yes, I am. The dumb, idiotic stuff he used.
He wasn't doing that. He was doing, again, it was more
He pulls a Sharpie out of his pants and signs a football.
That wasn't on the. Well, he had it on the field, but it wasn't anything. He did it for the touchdown celebration.
Yeah, but
I have no issue with that.
I
had no issue with Chad
Ochocinco wide receivers being just Looney Tunes. They're totally Looney Tunes.
They're flashy. Again, they have those kind of big egos.
And I should say all of them. I'm
I don't want to put all in that category, but there are the select few that seem to get all the press. That they always seem to.
Some of them are eccentric.
They got to feed the writer something every weekend, don't they?
All right, it makes their jobs that much more easier, I guess. But again, you just get those eccentric styles, and again, it's not just football, it's not just wide receivers, it's all aspects up and down that field. So again, OBJ, it's dumb. Don't do it again. Be smart. Just play football. How about that? Again, where you lost over the weekend, how about focus on winning with the Browns?
Yeah, seems like everywhere you go, you lose.
Well, he's got at least he's got one championship.
Now with jewelry, a lot of us will wear chains underneath. I would assume those that will wear some earrings, under their helmet,
which is fine.
But have you seen guys wear jewelry before on the outside?
Didn't Deion do that? Or
I don't remember him wearing rings.
No, I don't.
Or watches.
Or maybe I'm thinking of Deion when he was playing baseball, wearing like the gaudy chains outside of his uniform. But other than that, though, of this situation, seeing a watch, has it ever happened? Maybe. I'm not going to say no, but it's not a commonplace thing. It also, too, it's a question mark of why.
That's question. That's my question, Odell Beckham Jr. I don't care that you're doing it, but why?
And I think we know the why. It was just more so of him to garner social media attention and new
because
coverage.
Antonio Brown's getting all his coverage right now, and he doesn't like it.
And honestly, in my opinion, I think that's what the truth is behind this, of that he was second fiddle to Antonio Brown, and he goes, no. I want that attention. Shift focus away from him and on me.
Yeah, I'm playing. He's not.
Again, you got two egotistical people out there fighting for that limelight, and that's just how it goes. Oh, well.
Two egotistical morons. That's all there is to it. Got to take a timeout. I'm going to come back. We'll be back with the Mountain West after these words.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC. Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131. Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a possible thunderstorm this afternoon with highs around 76 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 45. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 68. And on Thursday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 43.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Back again on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Tomorrow, I know for sure we will have the head coach joining us in an interview with me, and that will be the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans head coach.
Not John Vance, but again, new head coach.
Aaron McKelkey.
There you go. That's information for you to know.
Yeah, former head coach at Big Piney.
Yeah,
in his first season. So
yeah, we'll hear from him tomorrow. Do believe at least you're working on trying to get South High 80, Mark Puev. At least again,
hopefully we'll have Dan Gallus joining us as well tomorrow on our program. So,
and we'll see if anyone else.
Picks.
Yeah, we'll have picks as well too, and we'll see if anyone else joins us as I've outreached up north to the great Northwest, at least Moscow, Lewiston, Idaho, Spokane, Washington, for someone to come by and talk with us of Idaho Vandal football. But unfortunately, as the rest of the state is realizing that it doesn't seem like those reporters really care about Idaho Vandal football at this point in time. But again, hopefully one of those will reach back out to me.
They know the program sucks. All right.
Well, again, it's 1-1, so it's better than 0-2 Texas State.
So for the Mountain West Conference this weekend, some good matchups, and then there's one, for example. And matter of fact, the head coach will not be with his team, that being Bob Davey. Will not be with the Lobos as they go to South Bend. And the reason I picked this game out first because right now, the Fighting Irish, if you are a betting person, the Fighting Irish are a 5-touchdown favorite, 35-point favorite to take care of the Lobos and South Bend.
That's fine. Again, is there any issue with that as Notre Dame is number 7 ranked in the country at South Bend, Indiana? New Mexico. You're 1-0 at this point in time. You got the battle of unbeatens between New Mexico and Notre Dame. But, yeah, the Lobos, let's be honest, they're going to get whipped on. That game is on NBC at 12:30 kickoff here Mountain Time. So 35 points, yeah, I'd probably take that.
Well, the intriguing matchup for me over the weekend, and we're going to see how good they really are the Air Force Falcons.
As they got to travel to Boulder.
They make a whole 50-mile, 60-mile ride.
Yeah, but that
to
could be a
Boulder.
difference where, again, you're not playing in – you go to the larger stadium in Boulder. Again, a fan base that is now invested in CU football after the top 25 upset of Nebraska. Again, the heated rival that is the Nebraska Cornhuskers for Colorado. Again, that's going to – be a little bit of a factor for Air Force compared to playing at the academy.
Well, the odds makers are not all that hyped on this one with Boulder or with the Buffs. They only have them instilled as a 4.5-point favorite in this one. I'm telling you,
and I think that's respect to Air Force.
I think Air Force is a lot. Yeah, after what they did to Colgate, I think Air Force is a lot.
That's Colgate. Here you are taking on a Pac-12 team where I said that Colorado is much more improved than what you believe.
Well, no, I'm not taking anything away from the Buffs.
This is going to be a tough one for Air Force to win. I don't anticipate Air Force beating Colorado. If they do, it's huge.
I also believe that Nebraska is not all that good either.
Under Scott Froskin's second year, they're definitely not that scary Nebraska teams of old.
They're not.
They're working their way under at least Coach
this one on Saturday at Folsom Field would not surprise me that the Falcons pull the upset.
No, I wouldn't either. I would not. It would not surprise me. Again, Air Force is a talented team, and I think they are one of the top-tier teams in the Mountain West Conference. And what we're seeing out of the Mountain West Conference here in 2019 is it's a conference that can get it done against Power 5 teams. Whether it is Wyoming getting business done, at least against Missouri, 2 Pac-12 wins for Hawaii on the islands. You look at with San Diego State getting the win on the road at UCLA. So it's a conference in general, in its teams throughout the West Division, Mountain Division that are taking care of business. You look at Boise State with Florida State on the road there. It would not shock me of how high of a regard I hold Air Force of what they can do here in 2019. It wouldn't surprise me. But it is that coin flip for Colorado at home. Yeah, they could beat Air Force too. I don't anticipate this one to be a blowout either way. It might come down to that 4.5 points. You might have a field goal that decides this.
Interesting that you mentioned Hawaii because they have beaten 2 Pac-12 teams. Well, guess what?
Back-to-back at home, though, again, at Hawaii.
And they come off the islands, and they will go to Husky Stadium.
Good luck.
Take on Washington, ranked in the 20, what are they ranked?
Number 23.
The Huskies are favored in this one right now, 21.5 points.
Yeah, good luck. Hawaii off the islands, heading out to Seattle.
They're mortal.
Well, and again, against the top 25 opponent, 3 straight games against Pac-12. Granted, you've beaten up the lesser of Arizona and Oregon State, but now you're taking on Washington where they're not the perennial powerhouse as they were past couple seasons. They graduated a lot of talent, but they are still a team that is respected. But Hawaii, that 21.5 points, yeah, sorry. I don't foresee an upset in Seattle against the Huskies.
And the reason I said 2 intriguing matchups, first off with the Air Force, I think that is going to be a very good ball game. And matter of fact, I just wanted to look at something real quick here because, again, 4.5 points. The Buffs are favored. You usually get 3 points for being home field. So I'm just kind of curious to see this little tracker that I have here. They're actually giving the Air Force a 41% chance of winning that thing. So, I mean, that's a lot better than most teams are getting.
You realize that's people voting.
Idaho's getting a 1% chance of beating the Cowboys. So
that 1% is pretty much me
it's
at
you.
this point.
It's probably you voting for Idaho. All right, looking at some other games that are going to be going on. And a place you've actually been to, Ryan Field in Evanston, Illinois, the home of Northwestern. As the Wildcats will entertain UNLV. This one could
be a beautiful campus, but the field is kind of iffy for Northwestern, but either way, again.
Meaning?
It's not the greatest thing compared to the rest of like the Big Ten. It doesn't have the prestige, and it's just kind of tucked away from the campus, off of well away from Lake Michigan, where at least the rest of Northwestern looks beautiful.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's a private institution, right? It's kind of like a Stanford.
I would assume. I'm not really sure on it. I just toured the campus and saw Ryan Field when I was out in Chicago back in June. But again, Northwestern, a team that is kind of flirts there, just mid-tier, Big Ten, not anticipated.
No.
They sneak into the top 25 every once in a while, but at home, UNLV, who's struggled last week. Sorry, Northwestern, they're favored 18.5 points in this game at home.
Actually, it's been bumped up to 19.5 now.
Well, I got 18.5 on this end, but either way, though, Northwestern heavy favorites.
I would go definitely and take the points on that. Let's see.
UNLV lost to Arkansas State last week, I do believe.
Yeah, they're not good. Again, it's going to be another rough year for UNLV. So the Rams will be at Arkansas.
This is somewhat surprising.
Yeah, that Arkansas is only a 9.5 point favorite. That's
at
what
home.
I have.
Yeah, 9.5 at home.
And the matchup predictor is given the Rams a 26% chance of winning this thing. I wouldn't give the Rams 100% chance.
I really don't know what to make
of 1%.
But CSU was that team preseason and still continue on. I don't know what to make of them. Again, the loss in neutral site there at Mile High Stadium against CU, I think CU is the better team. CU is a team that could beat probably majority of the Mountain West teams outside maybe of Boise, or they'd put up a good fight against the Boise State Broncs. But for CSU, there's still a question mark. Again, you can't go off the litmus test of what was last week as well at home. They took on a subdivision team and basically took care of it. Now taking on a Power 5 of Arkansas, going to Fayetteville.
No, not going to happen.
Is that odds makers saying, hey, CSU's a little bit more better than what we anticipated? Or is Arkansas a team that's down and out in the SEC? which is a good possibility. Again, in Arkansas,
they're not the Razorbacks of old. No,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Will
honest about
CSU
that.
pull off the quote-unquote upset and get that SEC win for the Mountain West? I don't see it either.
No.
It would be a hard time to believe it.
Do you actually
but
believe that
CSU
the
and Mike
Rams will
Bobo
cover
could
the-
do that.
Do you believe they even cover the spread?
Are you talking Arkansas?
You believe that the Rams can cover that 9.5 points? I don't. I don't.
I don't know.
Wyoming and Idaho, and if I looked at this last, as a matter of fact, I'll go on the Idaho side here. I don't think they even have this thing rated.
No, they don't have a line on it because
there's no line at all. And the last I saw on this,
well, and again, the line's
matchup-
non-existent because you are taking on a subdivision at least team, and
they're given a 2.1% chance of possibly getting an upset in Laramie.
All right,
and not going to happen.
Wackier things have happened.
Well, and when we talked with Robert Gagliardi earlier, and again, thank you to Robert for joining us. The one thing I probably disagreed with him, this has to be the game. This has to be the Wyoming Cowboy game that they just stomp. And I mean, they leave
knowing this offense
cleat prints in the face of the Vandals. This is what this program needs.
I don't foresee it to be anything out of hand.
They need a 45-zip win.
I don't foresee that. I really don't, knowing how slow this offense is. Again, Idaho is, for the Cowboys, and even Robert alluded to, you can't just assume that you're getting this win. Now everyone's pretty much confident that you will beat Idaho. And again, as a realist, I understand that Wyoming should take care of business against a team that just struggles right now in the Big Sky Conference. But I don't foresee this offense clicking. I foresee it having still struggles to get down and push against that Idaho defense that is still pretty tough. Again, you got big bodies on there that can possibly rush into, or at least, again, put some pressure on Sean Chambers. We'll see what happens coming up this Saturday, but
Right.
I don't foresee it's going to be a blowout. Cowboys should win this game, no doubt about it, but will it be a 45-0 or something where, Idaho's down by 3 touchdowns? Me, personally, they should, but I don't expect it.
Again, the Cowboys, and again, 2-0, and even Robert said he had them 6-6. I have them at 5-7. But this has to be the statement. If this team is for real, they've got to send a message. And the message is, we are good.
The message is that you beat a weak football team.
And what did Penn State do to them? They
That
destroyed them.
That means nothing.
I know, but they destroyed them. Okay? The Cowboys need to come back and do the same thing. They need to beat the pulp out of these guys, and I'm saying at least 45-zip. They need to put up a touchdown every time they touch the football.
And I say you need to temper back those expectations because we already know how slow this offense is going. This is also to a game that could be for the Cowboys, and even, again, Robert alluded to it, this is a game that the Cowboys could come in a little overconfident. As we're talking, at least hitting all these talking points and looking at the Idaho Vandals, again, it's a team that's not known for playing good football. It's a subdivision team.
Wow.
It's a team that you are expected to beat. That could be the Achilles heel for the Cowboys, where it is that kind of trap game, so to speak, for the Cowboys of you overlook them, you play down to that competition like they did, where they had that off, at least as we learned, again, the off-week practice, or at least practice was not as crisp heading into Texas State. Could it be another scenario here for the Cowboys of that they overlook their opponent, play down to them, and allow Idaho to keep within this contest? Again, they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
But you never know.
All right.
You never know with this Cowboys team.
Moving on, Weber State and Reno. Obviously, there's no line on this contest.
Nevada is favored by 9.
Well, I always thought there was no line in Reno, just simply for the fact that you couldn't bet on a team in the state.
You can
if
do
they
that.
were playing.
You can. UNLV's got lines. Again, Vegas Golden Knights will have lines.
But you can't bet in Reno on them, can you?
I don't know. It's got a line though. It's not. Nevada's favored at home by 9, and
and we'll see if Nevada bounces back. Weber can be. They could pose some problems. So we'll figure that one out.
Yeah, Weber State's already been a thorn for, at least as we look with San Diego State. Again, San Diego State that did get the win 6-0 at home, But they still went in week 2 and defeated UCLA. So we'll see what happens in this game. But 9-point favorite for Nevada at home at Reno. They should.
And again, let's quit selling UCLA as a great team. They're not that good.
But it's still a Power 5 team.
Okay, but they're not that. They're going to be.
No, yeah, UCLA is, yeah.
They're going to be down there with Arizona at the bottom. So we have here San Diego State taking on the Aggies and the of New Mexico State. That will be in Las Cruces. State is favored by 15.5 points. That's San Diego State.
Yeah, the Aztecs. New Mexico State is on. They have not been the same since leaving the WAC.
And we saw what the Cowboys did to them last year. They punished. That was the big punishment game for the Cowboys last year.
Yeah, but for San Diego State on the road, 15.5-point favorites in this game. There's no surprise. Aztecs should just whip them, even on the road. Again, New Mexico State's on the same vein as Idaho, and I'll even put New Mexico State even farther below Idaho of how bad of a football program they are. New Mexico State, the smart thing for them to do is move down, move away. I think they're a team that does still play in the Sun Belt Conference. They need to move down to the Big Sky or at least the FCS level because they have no business playing on the FBS.
And this one has no line coming up as well, the last game of the Mountain West Conference for this weekend. Again,
I got a line for it.
All non-conference games. What they should do with Portland State, the Vikings, what they need is get a brick wall, put all the team up against the wall, put a blindfold and a cigarette in their mouth because this is going to be a massacre. They're going to get clobbered.
Again, as I thought Marshall would be that same team as well.
I told you they weren't.
Well, we'll see. Again, Boise State, who is ranked number 22, I do have a line for this one. It is 31.5-point favorite for Boise State on the blue turf as they take on Portland State, the Vikings. Boise, 31.5. It sounds good on paper. Will they?
Yep.
You would think so.
Yep.
But, again, seeing, in my opinion, of what they did against last week at